catch up. You go ahead and text me. I'm a little different than everybody else and you're gonna love it. My phone number whenever you're ready, because I'm gonna send you a couple of things. That way you have them. Thank you,
I think
girl.
that should be good. Let me know if you need anything.
Perfect.
That's the whole like participant guide. So if you're wondering if they're seeing the big book, but you also have yours printed out.
I printed it, girl.
I love it.
I try to get better. Try to get better at this every year, being more prepared.
Is it 513?
Nope, I am an Indiana original, 812-290-9048. If you want to save it, it's Sarah with an H.
Oh, I missed a number. I have fat fingers.
812.
Oops, wait, that's. You did that.
That's okay.
Okay, 812.
290.
There it is. 290-9048.
Uh-huh. Okay. So the reason why I asked for your number is when agents get started here, I do like to give them my number, especially if they're in a class with me, because I feel like once you connect with someone, you might feel a little more comfortable reaching out and asking for help.
Yes,
So
that is very nice.
You're welcome. I am licensed in Ohio and Kentucky. I just passed 9 years in real estate in February.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it doesn't feel like that long. It's kind of wild. So I live in Kentucky. My husband is also a licensed agent here. So if you come to every class, for a night, he'll be teaching. His name's Nick. He's teaching next week on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Capture leads with social media.
Oh, well, that's the one I need.
I know. And I always I tell them you gotta get your materials in your brain beforehand, because it's kind of a lot when you're trying to follow what they want you to say. And then also use your real life experiences and then go through and do the hands-on activity. So I have a teaching background, so that's why I love being on the Agent Leadership Council, and we do get the first opportunity to teach at the office. So Agent Leadership Council, you just have to be in the top 20%. And then everybody in the top 20% kind of gets that invitation by leadership here in the office. So leadership would be Lindsay, Kelly, and whenever we have a new team leader, they invite you, and then you basically just kind of go to some of the trainings and then see if you're a fit and see if you still want to move forward. So yeah,
I hope I can make it to that point.
you will. And then, thank you. You just say your name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to send these to Nick earlier. So that way I could just copy and paste them.
I like to take a lot of notes.
Good.
I like to write, physically use a pen.
That's how you retain it better. That's what they say. Okay. I'm gonna have to save you so I can send you a couple things. What I'm gonna send you is this market report. Are you signed and committed with Seven Hills, Shannon?
I have not signed.
Okay.
I don't know if, I need to talk to Kelly, maybe, and Lindsay more about that. Because we just finally yesterday got the final word on what I actually needed to do to get my license.
Right.
And, they might be wondering if I'm actually committed. So I'm sure that's a discussion that happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kelly comes back.
Perfect. Okay. Now I can send it from my laptop since I saved you.
I'm gonna print out today's materials. But when I mistake because I waited until this morning to do it, and it printed out yesterday's.
Oh, bum hard.
But that's okay, because I can watch it on the screen.
Worried I was leaving you one-on-one.
How are you?
Good, I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris. I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Welcome, welcome.
You. Try not to miss scripting at TCG.
Get it. How long have you been with TCG?
Say, what is today?
Today's 8.
9 days?
Get it? Okay. Chris, I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and send me a quick text.
Sure.
I know you have lots of help over there, but I was just, and this is Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Shannon, Chris.
yeah.
Shannon. My phone number is 812
Okay.
290 9048. I'm right,
Sorry, 892.
812, like Indiana,
Oh,
290 9048. I'm just gonna send you the market statistics for March. Every week, our team meeting is Tuesday at 11 AM right here in this room. I know TCG has their own meetings, so I don't know how those overlap or not, but that's for all agents. And like, even if you're not licensed yet, I highly recommend you come in, because there are lots of things that you can learn. And just get a feel for our culture and our education and what we're all about here at our office. All right, do you have me saved, Sarah? SARH. Brooks. So I sent you Shannon. That. Did that come through for you, Shannon?
It did, yes.
Okay. And then this is gonna be a little extra. I know every Ignite instructor is not gonna do this, and it's not necessarily like in the manual for us to do this. However, any classes I teach, I do like to connect with the people that are actually showing up, because I feel like the people that are showing up should get extra attention and extra care, and because you're actually stepping up and showing up. So Chris, great house. Oh, I did see you on social media about something.
oh,
Maybe it was joining.
that's probably right.
So I ran statistics this morning, and those are for Claremont, Hamilton, Butler, and Warren County. Those are the counties that I cover in Ohio. So I just did like what I would do. I also work in Northern Kentucky, but I just did the one for Cincinnati. So we'll go over that briefly. And one good thing about today is that we don't have anything immediately after. So we should be able to cover everything. Do you either of you have time constraints today?
So,
You don't think so? Okay. I'm sure that did not.
like I said, 11:30, but
What'd you say?
11:30 meeting at TCG, but that's not 12%.
Okay, well, this is supposed to be over at 11:30, but we're starting about 15 minutes late. Okay, so what I sent you was a podcast, and the reason why I sent you that is because Dana and Linda are operating principals, and they're really big in the Ohio Valley region. And they have their own podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. It's called Everything Life and Real Estate. I was listening to it on the way here this morning, and they're going over the current market. So I think having, Lindsay talked about this at our meeting, like an elevator pitch. This is not part of the class. I'm gonna get right back to the class. However, just knowing what's going on in your market, and that's what the class is today, connecting with your market. So I think knowing how to run one of these reports, that is through you on the MLS. And I had it pulled up, but it's gonna kick me. It probably kicked me off, I'm sure.
This is an MLS report.
Yeah, yep. When you go
Why does it
into,
look so good?
and why does it look so good?
Yeah.
When you go in, I'll just briefly show you both again, because they told me to have a market report. They didn't tell me to show you how to do it. Before you log into your member portal, this housing data, you just go to, local snapshot statistics. And this is through, Domuson, or something like that, analytics. And what you do is you do these drop down menus. It's only for single family and condos, and then you can go through all the counties that are part of our MLS. So what that is when you have MLS access, you don't have to go in and like actually log in all the way. You just go to housing data, go to local snapshots and statistics, and then it'll open this Domus analytics. And then it pulls it up and you can actually manipulate those drop downs with your counties. Okay, so it is only by county, but it's a great little nugget. So there's that. You can print it, you can put it with like your listing, whatever you're doing. I did print outside the margins a little. Okay, so great. You're welcome to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions. Hopefully I can answer them. If not, I will help you find the answer. That's why I wanted you to have my number. So it asks us to also have a lore. I tried to grab one real quick from Lindsay. It's the language of real estate. And that is something that our market center prepares for us. So I know they do give us those during our meetings. And what those are gonna look like is gonna be comparison of Keller Williams Seven Hills next to other brokerages. So, and it's gonna be a bar graph. So that's the language of real estate, and that's something that will be part of like your listing presentation, your buyer's presentation. You can keep them printed. So those are always nice just to kind of know, because especially when you know that you're interviewing a client and they're also looking at another agent or brokerage. It's just not, it's a good way to be professional without trying to like strike down another company. So just to be prepared with that, so LORE. And then you also want to just stay up with your inventory, your average days on market, average price, average mortgage rate, unemployment rate, and growth rates. So I'm gonna be really honest, I obviously got the average price through here. Okay, for all the counties. And then the average mortgage rate, I go to bankrate.com. Or you could also ask ChatGPT, which I did ask about the unemployment rate and the growth rate. So I'm happy to send those to you after class. I'll just send you what I pulled up on ChatGPT. Cool.
You said, what was the second rate, the unemployment rate and?
The growth rate, GDP. So Dana and Linda go over that very well. I had them the podcast on for like 20 minutes and they were already covering things. So I know Peter would approve of this podcast for you. Does Peter have a podcast? I think he does.
I don't know.
Probably.
Probably.
Probably, I know. I love them. Okay, so we are being recorded on, we are being recorded on YouTube, just FYI. Don't share anything if you don't want it on YouTube. So here we are on course 3. I will be teaching again, strengthen relationships. I was telling Shannon that my husband will be teaching next week, capture leads with social media. So these are some great classes taught by great instructors. This is actually the very last time Ignite is going to be taught as a Keller Williams training. They're revamping it. So when it's out again, it'll be called something else. It'll be a little different. So
Inflame.
Huh?
Inflame.
Inflame. I don't remember what it's gonna be.
It's gonna look like I'm the only person in class.
I know.
For the
Oh,
whole
it's
series.
so funny. So when you have the actual manual here or the participant guide, and obviously this will be retired, but there's a lot of things that it refers to, like your success system,
Yeah.
and you know, tracking and going over that. I know the chivalry group is really on you guys about tracking, so it's a great habit to instill early on in your business. So the success system tied together for today, this is the wrong page. How did that happen already? 3.2.
Shannon, did you get a copy of the third section?
Was gonna print it out, but on this
I
morning,
was too, yeah.
it printed it out the one before, cause I
Oh.
did the pages.
Do you want me to try to print you one?
I'll be okay, I can take, I like to take.
I
notes.
I don't know if I have that. I'd have the. You just don't write in it, but just.
Oh,
They
okay.
try to get rid of it. You just forgive me if I don't know what's going on in that book. I just know what's going on my papers.
They need a liquidation sale.
Yes. It's a little distracting. So, all right, we're covering connect with your market. We'll go over different factors to research and consider to be prepared for meeting with clients. This is the path to becoming a real estate expert of choice. So, before we begin, let's hear progress with the success system from yesterday. So that's why I said if you have your book, every class, you're going over your success system and it's a tracking system. But if you don't have it, it's kind of a moot point to add it into the class and discuss. But do you have some numbers to give us? Chris?
Were we supposed to do that?
Technically, yeah.
Okay.
You also, when you do the class with Jennifer and Doug, they're gonna have you do your lead gen afterward. Don't be afraid. So they're gonna have you get on the phone and do some things and I'm not running away. And I do have some things to get back to TCG, but if you wanted to do some script and role play afterward, we certainly can. Okay, I'm not running away. So I'm not leaving like right at 11:30. Okay, so I'm gonna just briefly cover our agenda for the day. By the end of the day, you'll be equipped to explain how various factors of your current market inform your business focus and strategy. We're gonna analyze current real estate market trends to build your expertise. And we're gonna utilize KW technology and social media to connect with clients and grow your business. So let's start thinking about what we'll learn today. We'll consider questions we might have and what we'd like to learn about. Says find a partner, have 2-minute conversation about your questions, what you'd like to learn more about. Jot your notes down in your participant guide so they stick with you. So, this is easy because it's just you two and, your questions. I know it's probably kind of hard because you're like, well, we're connecting with our market. But maybe if you just have a couple questions, it'll give us some things to make sure we dive a little deeper on. I am gonna let you guys talk about that for 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
How, the question is how do we connect with our market?
Well, that's the topic today is connecting with your market. So if you have anything off the top of your head that you want to make sure you learn today, because we will have some time to get off of the material. Is everybody else having you chat with each other so far?
Huh.
James Harris? He's not. It's just kind of
It's been like only
open
Or-
discussion.
4 or 5 of us, so.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, you guys know kind of like the brief synopsis of what we're gonna discuss today. So is there anything, since you're getting back into real estate, and are you a newly licensed agent or you've been around the block?
Yeah, this is 2 years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I haven't sold one home, so I am very inexperienced. I got my license and,
I've only sold 1, so.
oh,
That's
okay.
great. So basically connecting with your market, what are your thoughts around that? Like where do you think you have room to grow?
I guess defining my market for one and trying to make sure that it's a focused and systematic approach.
Yeah. Systems are huge in our industry. Very easy to get derailed and not be disciplined. Okay, thanks for sharing. What do you think, Shannon?
Well, I appreciate his answer because I feel like, I need a system, I need guidelines, I need step-by-step, just to even get that foundation in there before I can start moving, intuitively or having questions of my own and even being able to know where to research and
Yeah.
what to think about.
Yeah,
So
I love it. So this time of year, I follow the eagles, the little baby eagles, and you're like a hatched eagle. You're already eating. Yeah. Well, you are. Good. Hilarious. Translator. But and then you're like still pecking out of the shell. Like you're just like, I just know I'm supposed to do this, but I don't know what's next. That's so cute. Okay, I told you I'm gonna be a little different than everybody else.
For sure, yeah. Well, I think too, it's like, there's so much to think about, and I get stuck trying to build and redesign systems rather than taking action too. So I think I get caught between wanting to have like a really systematic and, easy to follow plan, but then spending all my time planning or redesigning something and not
Yeah.
taking enough action
Yeah.
in a focused way.
Yeah. I think knowing is the first part of the battle in this career, like just being aware that you have to know yourself, and there's something we say in Keller Williams is your business grows to the extent that you do. So your systems that start with yourself personally and your routine. So getting up at the same time, saying like affirmations in the morning, or reading the Bible, like whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to get out and get some sun on your face in the morning. So that's just a little nugget. Okay, from Gary Keller, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. That's a book. I'm sure you've seen it around maybe thus far. And that is Gary Keller, by the way. Here's the truth. If it has been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it has been done, no matter where, it's just a matter of finding out how that can be possible in your world. And Linda and Dana talked about that a little bit too. On that podcast. So knowing your market, it's all about research and preparation. You sound like you like to be very prepared, like you like to be researched. And it kind of sounds like that's you too. Like I just not comfortable just jumping right in. So buyer's market is more than 7 months of inventory. We have 3 types of market. A balanced market from 5 to 7 months of inventory, and a seller's market less than 5 months of inventory. So a lot of times our clients are going to say, I know it's a buyer's market right now, or I know it's a seller's market. They don't know this, the 7 months of inventory. They don't know what that means. And that just means based on how many buyers and sellers there are, how much inventory do we need to get all of them in a home, and the buyers in a home. And I heard something great the other day. Is actually it's nobody's market is what I just heard the other day. So there's a 4th type apparently. Plot twist. It'll be in the new material. It wasn't a Keller Williams. It was a real estate guy on a Instagram channel. So inventory is the number of properties for sale within a market. So what is the inventory in our market? Okay, so the inventory in our market, we're looking at how many are active. So active inventory on here, 2,468. Those are the counties that the 4 counties that I discussed. And for the percent on the bottom, it is the same month of prior year, so year over year. Okay, these are all year over years. And then it's also asking us what's the average number of days a home stays on the market based on this data. What's the average number of days that the home stays on the market? Well, I don't think we have an average. We have a median on this report. So the median days are at the bottom, that's 6.
Slow.
It does seem really low, right? Median, I prefer than average because median takes out some of the outliers, like some houses maybe that are like a little more distressed. And that's up 50% from last year. So that's huge to know. If you're talking with the seller, because the news that they're watching, or maybe their friend or their neighbor that sold last year, they had a median 3 days on market. So that might be a great point to talk about during a listing appointment. What's the typical price a home in your market sells for? So we have a median sold price at the top for a year over year of 319. So that's up 10%. Okay, so if that's up, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? It sounds like that would be more of a seller's market. But median days on market going up, that makes it feel like more of a good thing for buyers, that they have more time. And then based on the inventory, what type of market do you think that we're in? Don't pay attention to the fourth type that I threw in there. Buyer's market, seller's market, or a balanced market.
I can answer that.
Okay,
Sellers.
still sellers. What do you think, Shannon?
I was gonna say the middle one, what was that?
Balance?
The balance.
Okay. So I agree with you both. Because the numbers say it's a seller's market. But buyers are at an advantage more than they have been since probably 2022. Or, sorry, every year I feel like it's getting better for buyers. And it's gonna be specific upon the home. But overall, it's a seller's market. But it's not the 2021 seller's market. And I think that's why it's funny, that funny thing about on Instagram, it's nobody's market. Because it's not a blanket, like run, see a house, write full list, over wave inspections, like. I'll have one listing that it's like that, and I'll have another one that sat for 30 days. So, anyway.
Yeah, we talked about it the other day, like making it, that it's important that buyers and sellers understand, or any client just understands that it's more of a spectrum than just categorical, because
Exactly.
if the buyer's market, then they think, oh, well, we can just get our way. And
Yeah.
not negotiate. Or,
Yeah,
yeah, compromise or anything.
yeah, or write a low ball and
Yeah.
not care and write 3 pages of a defect notice. Like,
Right.
these are our nightmares as real estate agents.
And I think some people are stuck in that boom that happened too.
Yeah,
In 2021. And I feel like my husband is like one of those people, like, he's like, we need to sell our house and come out ahead, and I'm like,
could never time the market. But you can never time the market, and that is a wild part about it. So, my personal experience, I timed the market great. We built a home and we got 7.125 interest rate. How sexy is that? Not at all. So, but it was the right time for us. We were getting married and it was the right time for us. We had a dog, we had to get out of our condo. So anyway, let's see. So a well-connected, that is well-informed agent knows everything they can possibly know about their real estate market, whether it be a neighborhood, small town, a city, a county, or a segment of the market, such as downtown condos. So what you choose to know well is up to you. And you mentioned that earlier. I need to know my market. And your market is an area, and it also could be a type of client. Isn't that funny? It could be looked at 2 different ways. So, becoming the real estate expert is all about knowing your market and connecting with that market in unique and consistent ways. Generally speaking, you know market factors on a macro level and on a micro level. A macro level, you'll know what's going on in the city or the metro area you live in. And on a micro level, you hone in on specific facts about neighborhoods or certain parts of town where you'll be focusing your effort. So on a micro level, I'm in Covington, okay? Some people think of Covington as the river. Most people do, a river city. I am in the suburbs of Covington. So in a micro way, I know like the business district, I know the different suburbs, I know Taylor Mill and Fort Mitchell and Fort Wright. Those are all Covington to me. So knowing your area and knowing those different little micro areas are gonna be important. We'll cover the types of markets. I think I'm a little behind. I jumped ahead, click, which is good. Oh, this is a good question, and I don't want to miss it. So we are talking about a shift. It's like a common phrase or like a shift in the real estate market. Have you heard of a shift? Okay, that we have a book, right? It's out there in the cabinet. A shift occurs when the market moves from one market to another. So what do you think causes a shift in a market?
I mean, other than the economy,
The economy. The economy definitely is a huge part. What else?
There's a lot of factors you could look at. I mean, directly, inventory is a big one.
Mhm.
And that is, I think, I don't know, I would imagine, influenced by inflation and, jobs and, all the factors that prevent people from being able to buy or being able to buy.
Yeah. You hit it, both of you. So you took it macro and you took it micro. So that is the biggest factor is the economy. And they just mentioned on the podcast that so far in the history of real estate, when oil prices go up, so do interest rates. So you don't know that unless you're plugging in and learning, and you can do these things while you're riding in your car. And that way, when you meet up for happy hour and all your friends ask you how real estate's doing, you're like, wow, it's just blowing my mind. It sure is fascinating. And you're like, yeah, what do you mean? You're like, well, one day we're listed like hotcakes, and the next day the consumer the way the consumer is looking at the economy is down because now we're in a war. So listing appointments have got a little more interesting. And well, what do you mean? So it just enables you to be able to just talk in a relaxed way when you're in front of your people. So knowing your market, know what's going on in the economy. Let's see. Okay. Also, I do have a copy of, we're not going to go over it because it's lots of information. This is for our market center, or our office, that our market center is what Keller Williams calls it. But these are our year-over-year reports or a trend report. Peter loves reports. So this is going to break down tons of numbers. It's going to go, and we get our numbers through Command. So when agents are using Command, which is where we put our database, your database is all the people in your sphere or like people that you know. So all of this contracts written, if you don't enter in that you wrote a contract and it got accepted or it didn't, then we can't track that. Contracts accepted, sales closed, sales volume, how many agents we brought on, how many left. That is all in this report. Year over year, every month. And then you can do it for the market center. You have to have someone from leadership do that. But they go over these that are all our agent leadership council meeting, the ALC that I'm on. And a lot of people are that teach classes.
Do we have access to like a spreadsheet of that, or is it just
we cannot access this, and I have to ask Lindsay.
or like a copy of it, I guess?
Yeah, like I know they go over them at the ALC meeting, but I don't think it lives anywhere without them sending it to us.
Okay.
We don't have direct access to it. That's a great question, because I was gonna print it and I had one and I couldn't find it at first. I'll find that out for you. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna go back a second.
Sure.
Can I ask a question? So you mentioned like timing the market, and I don't know, I guess I don't always know what to say to people who are, I think a lot of consumers are just sort of not super knowledgeable, but they hear bits and pieces and
Yeah.
then say, oh, well, I'm just gonna wait for the market to crash again or something.
Mhm.
And, or they say, I now have a 3.5 interest rate, like, why would I wanna, like, I can't really, like, why would I get rid of that to go somewhere else? Like, I feel stuck here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I usually say that, even the people who, or economists who try to predict the market, come out with a prediction each year, and they're generally wrong.
We didn't know we were gonna go into this
So-
Iran war,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Keller was saying that for 2026, we should be up 4 to 5% from last year.
Right.
Now it's looking like it's gonna be a little stale, like probably the same sales and everything from last year. So really, you just have to show people the data. When you're talking with people, you have to show them the data, and you can't do that if you're just at pickleball, If they're like, oh yeah, I got the golden handcuffs, and they're like, I hear that a lot, and sometimes I'm able to sit down with someone and go over the numbers specific to them, and if it's the right house, it might be the right time. And really, we call that uncovering someone's motivation. I hate to say their pain point because you feel like a weird psychotherapist, but you do, and as a real estate agent, you wear many hats, and sometimes it's that. But like today, I feel like a librarian. But that is like a great point about people not wanting to move off of those rates, and it's just a lot of language and learning how to move your way around some objections, and you can never make someone buy or sell. But I think if you keep in touch with them enough and they know that you're the market expert, when they're ready, they're gonna reach out to you.
Yes, so it sounds like it's more like just, they have that objection that they say aloud, but it might be more complicated than that, and kind of have to uncover, to what degree that's gonna hold them back, or what their
Mhm.
motivation is that's gonna overcome that. Is that kind of right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll use my hairstylist as an example, and then we'll move on if that's okay. But my hairstylist, I help them buy and sell when the rates were really low. And they moved into a house that has a pool, and the basement was unfinished, and it's a ranch, so they literally could live there forever.
Yeah.
And that's what her husband always says, I'm never moving, but she wants to move. She doesn't love the layout. And now they have 2 daughters. When they bought, they were newlyweds. So they have a pool, and they finished their basement, and he thinks there's no reason to move. And that will just take time. That will take time of probably the girls getting older and being bigger and their life changing. So you kind of just have to, we talk about real estate every 2 months when I get my head in front of her. And she says the same thing every time. And I just bring her with some current market things, and we talk about it a little bit, and that's it. And I just stay top of mind. Cool. Awesome. That was good and juicy. I love it. All right, now let me make sure I'm in the right area. Inventory, know your market. I went a little farther than there. So explaining the MLS, using the MLS, other real estate networks can help you determine your current inventory. We kind of went over that there. If inventory starts to decrease, that's a sign of a shift ahead. The same is true if homes start staying on the market longer or not selling. So you see days on market is up 50% from this time last year in the spring, which is like known to be our hottest market. Okay. So under that, do you know the current average mortgage interest rates?
Roughly,
Yeah, what do you think?
6.25 or 5, maybe, depending.
Yeah, what do you think?
I was thinking around there too,
Mm-hmm.
because that's kind of why
Yeah, her husband said, saying they should move. She was saying that, I think, before we walked in. Yeah, and then I look on bank rate and they say they're like 5.7. And, so I think finding a local real estate agent that you trust and that that will keep pouring into you and helping you understand rate conditions is something that is huge. You can start doing that now. You don't have to wait until you're licensed. They want relationships with agents. Especially when agents are new and just kind of getting started, they tend to work with buyers more. And not all sellers are going to buy right away. Some people move into an RV, some people rent, some people sell their house but move in with their significant other. So new agents tend to historically work with buyers more. So we have lots of affiliates here that would love to connect with you. And I know, I think Peter and them used Annie Mac.
Yeah, you mean I think you might have said real estate agents, but I think you mean loan officers.
Yes,
Is
I'm
that
sorry.
Right,
Okay.
okay, I don't know if I just misheard that.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah, there you go.
Or-
Just for the record.
Thank you, loan officers, lenders. And that means you're paying attention. I appreciate that.
Trying, I need more coffee too.
That's good, because I was gonna ask, who was that person?
Sorry about that.
No,
Interest rates and lender regulations play important roles in the status of your market. As interest rates rise, buying power starts to dip because affordability decreases. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so monthly payments are gonna increase with higher rates. The rising interest rates will take some buyers out of the market. Another important number to know for your market is the average down payment percentage for home buyers in the area. I find that fascinating and I actually want to know how to get that information. So maybe we should get that from a lender because I don't have that.
Yeah, I don't know where you'd find that.
And why do you think that would be important, knowing the average down payment percentage for home buyers in the area?
I would wanna see that in different price points.
Different price point.
I think a lot of people wanna know.
Yeah.
How much money do I have?
Yeah, what would my competition be like as a buyer? When I go to write an offer, is it normal to have 20% down in this neighborhood? Or can I do 3.5% FHA?
Yeah, that would be a really great stat to know.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. And, so paying attention to lender regulations can help agents get a feel for where the market is heading. If lenders are changing their policies, they could be signaling the market shift is on the way or already here. Lenders may be reacting to other economic factors that the agents aren't in tune with, so it's important to keep a close eye on these regulations for any changes. Okay, so you touched on Keller Mortgage on day one. Keep the partners in mind as a great resource to help navigate these complicated numbers. Craig Davis is with Keller Mortgage in our office. He has an office. When you walk in the front door, he's immediately to the left. He's in there all the time. And then our in-house title company is right around the corner over here, Viridian. So we have people here in the office that you can always ask questions. Okay. Except when their door's closed and they're on the phone.
Through the door.
Yeah, the door rule. When the door is closed, it means you can't enter. All right. So whenever you consider using Keller Mortgage or covered, they must include the following disclaimer. So we actually do have, you're gonna learn about contracts, but you're also gonna learn about disclosures. So disclosures are gonna go over our affiliates and that we do have affiliations with them. So they need to know that they are part of our brokerage, basically. They're part of our team here. So that's just covering your butt with like RESPA and things like that. All right. Great. Moving on. Okay. So we went over economic factors play an important role in the agent's understanding of the market. So I can ask, what is the unemployment rate in our market? Probably aren't sure, but I did chat GPT it. And I even did it locally. I just asked Chat GPT for it locally. And it just said it is still a strong market for Northern Kentucky. But this is something you can do once a month, sit down, time block some time for you to look at those numbers. And that way you can update any of your listing presentations or buyer presentations. But right now they say healthy, it's not too high or too low. How many workers are entering and exiting the workforce in your market? So this is important. The last time I taught this class, we talked a lot about P&G. We talked a lot about the convention center reopening downtown. We talked about Amazon in Northern Kentucky. So knowing what businesses are going in around areas are gonna have an influx with employment. So being part of Facebook groups, I'm just adding this in, is huge in neighborhoods that you live in or you want to be a market expert on. So just start searching them in Facebook, talk about it. Probably since we're talking about it right on your phone right now, you're probably gonna start getting some suggestions on Facebook. What is the growth rate of your community? Has the government made any changes to rules and regulations that may affect the housing market? So, locally, this could be like levies put into place. I'm not huge into politics, but I do try to pay attention to things like that. Awesome. This kind of goes more into what I was just saying, but neighborhood numbers, knowing some neighborhood numbers, is going to make you be that micro agent where you know, like a new development. I love that. If I know the name of the development before it's posted, I feel like the expert. I know my stuff. And they're like, what do you mean? What's Nicholson Downs? And I'm like, oh, it's up there on the corner of Madison and 16. You know, you see all the dirt leveled out. Oh yeah, they're gonna have a brewery there. They're gonna have mini Airbnbs that you can rent, like great for bachelorette party weekends or bachelor weekends, bridal showers and such. They're gonna have a new gas station. So yeah, when you know all that and they're like, oh gosh, they're really paying attention to what's going on in the market. Because that will affect some local housing. If people want to live where, you know, there's a closer brewery or like more fun things to do.
Now, what's the quickest way you think to find out that information? Like,
I like
the
being-
building project? I mean,
Be part of, like, you could go to like any meetings that are public in your county. I would consider stuff like that, or city meetings.
because I've looked in commissioners' notes and
Yeah.
that's public record. I'm like, oh, this is all.
It's a lot, yeah. But I feel like the juicy stuff is at these in-person meetings. I live in HOA, I go to all the HOA meetings.
Oh, okay.
I want the juice. So I knew stuff last year that people were still asking about in our neighborhood Facebook group. Why is the second pool right next to the other pool? Well, if you would have been at the HOA meeting last year, you would have known that it's way less expensive to put them next to each other rather than put another one a mile away in the other part of the community. And then you're the
Do you live
expert.
in Tuscany?
I do. Do you?
Yeah, because I knew about that. No, I don't live there. I don't live there. I don't live there.
He doesn't know.
No,
me.
I
I'm
just-
not the market
I-
expert.
Had some open houses there, and I was like, wait, that sounds like really familiar.
Yeah.
Like that they're putting the pool right next to the other one.
Wow.
I'm a local expert.
So are you a Kentucky guy?
I have my license there. Yes.
Sweet. So, nearby health facilities, so I have literally had clients say I wanna live within 10 minutes of a hospital. So when you can't trust that they're always gonna look it up, I'll Google map it to Edgewood, to St. Elizabeth or whatever. Yeah, you're just gonna go right up on Dudley, it's only 8 minutes away. That's how far Tuscany is, cause I had to go there recently. Neighborhood attractions, I just went over like breweries and knowing like what's gonna be put in when they build something new. Ahas, okay, cool. Any ahas? If you don't have any, I won't be offended.
No, that's all good.
It's all good.
All the ahas.
I love it. So, I mean, they're just powerful meaningful insights that come from reflection experiences that we're learning. And sometimes you just don't think of anything until you start firing some like new synapses and you're like, oh, I connected that to that. And then you're like, oh, I can implement this. I can add this as part of my routine. I can time block where I go on Facebook and look at community pages.
Right, that's kind of what my biggest takeaway is that. That could be, you could spend weeks doing all of this, right? But
Research.
like your question was a little bit about how do you do that efficiently? That's kind of where my head was like,
Mhm.
if I block off time and I'm like, okay, well, now I'm done doing that, that would be
Right.
nice to have that limit,
Exactly. I don't trust it as gospel, but Chat GPT is a way for me to be really efficient. I am a I like to talk a lot. I get distracted very easily. You could have a squirrel tattoo like on my face. Like it's me, like 85% of the time. And like the other 15% of the time, I'm barking orders at people. I'm also a high D. So I tend to have ideas and I get excited about them, and then it's hard for me to implement them. So I understand that wholeheartedly. And having like the routine is what helps me. So even if I start the day with my specific routine, and knowing like the market center classes that are coming, and I hold myself accountable to coming into the office and knowing what classes I want to be at. They want you here every day. That's not realistic because we also have to be selling houses and being on appointment. So you can't be here all the time. That's why it's important to look in advance and what's on the calendar. So you know what you want to be at. Okay, because you could be here every day. There's always something going on. So time blocking was an aha. Love it.
I don't know. I don't think were we supposed to do a disc assessment yet?
Not in this, no.
Okay. I don't know,
Peter
'cause
has done that in the past, and I know we offer it at least like once a year. But no, I mean, I'm happy to ask Lindsay if we can put it on the calendar.
It'd be cool. I mean, I think a lot of people talk about it, so we haven't really, I don't think,
Haven't touched on it in a
Yeah.
while.
yeah, well, I don't really know. I know it vaguely, but I don't really
Yeah.
know it in detail.
Cool.
What is this?
It's like a, kind of like a Myers-Briggs, but maybe more scientific, I don't know.
Yeah, just,
Okay.
DISC.
It's like a work, is it like how you work?
Yeah, how you relate to people,
Percent.
how you are naturally and how you are under, pressure or stress. So they'll give you it'll have lots of questions and you go through and at the end it gives you, used to be a bar graph. I haven't done it in a while. I do think my D is a little higher. I think since I got married, I've got used to lots of nick around.
That probably makes sense.
Building expertise.
Be
Okay.
interesting to have couples take them together.
Oh, yeah. I'm checking time. We have an hour or how's the stack? It's okay. All right. I feel like at the beginning, kind of get warmed up and it does take a little longer. All right. So you know how to connect with your market and you must keep up with the market. Yet you might be thinking, how do I learn about my market? There's so much to know. Yeah, okay. First, who can remember one of the 6 personal perspectives that relates to this? Oh, this is fun.
What?
Did James go over 6 personal perspectives?
Who can remember or who can open their package fast?
Yeah, right. 6 personal perspectives. Which one relates most to learning about the market?
Oh, isn't there one that's just learning? Or growth mindset?
I think it's becoming an expert is what it's called. It's a good test for me too. I can visualize the little, there it is.
Commit to self-mastery,
Ooh, yes, yes. What's the next one?
commit to the 80-20 principle,
And then
move from E to P. I don't
Okay.
remember what that means.
self-mastery. Okay, yep. So.
Oh, wait, the next one is make being learning based foundation of your action plan. That one might be pretty good too. Number 4.
Yep, make being learning based the foundation of your action plan. That's it. It says it right there next. Okay, so E to P is becoming an entrepreneurial mindset to a professional mindset. Or how you're naturally good to taking what you're naturally good at and leveling up. So like naturally, I'm a talker, but being able to be more succinct and be more professional, that would get me from E to P. Okay. You're welcome. All right, so let's talk about how we can build our expertise in being learning based as the foundation. Okay, so building your expertise. Once you know your market and are familiar with all the important numbers, it's time to begin building your expertise. Part of educating your buyers and sellers is becoming the local expert. So knowing the numbers is the first step. Understanding them, interpreting them, and applying the numbers to your market and your lead gen and lead follow-up conversations are equally important. So what are some ways you're already building your expertise on a market level? Building your expertise on a market level. What are some ways you think you're already doing that? I'm not doing that.
You should still answer though.
He's like, I can't answer
I
everything.
can't answer everyone just because you're not licensed.
You are human still, are you? Click here for you are not a robot.
I feel like right now, I am paying attention, I'm watching the news, I'm listening to people.
Yeah,
I
like it.
just trying to relate everything to real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to make the connections and draw it in,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention.
Yeah.
Baby
Yeah.
steps.
That's so fun. I couldn't even go on vacation without looking in St. Augustine, like the oldest city in the whole country. And I'm like, oh, they need to fix those downspouts. We're like on a tour, and I'm like, oh, Nick, look how bad that is cracking.
This is like a fortress.
Yeah, like houses that are like 200 years old, you know? So, yes, you start to see real estate everywhere. It's top of mind for you. And you start to make connections. I love that. That's good.
I think I'm gonna go back to like defining the market because I think there's, even in our local area, there's so many different ways to define that. What's my market? Well, my market's gonna be different from somebody who's maybe selling, $1 million plus homes too. So I think for me, it's about trying to, make sure that I'm being kind of specific. Like if I'm looking for a family who's thinking about school districts, then I need to make sure that my market data kind of reflects those school districts and isn't just pulled from like the whole county.
Yeah.
So trying to, and I guess like a bigger example of that would be like, you can listen to the national news and hear about the housing market talked about very generally, but like our market just around the Midwest is going to be very different from like coastal cities.
Florida.
Yeah, or like big cities. So
Yeah.
I think even just sort of like knowing what's happening nationally and just trying to kind of, I don't know, compartmentalize or like, kind of have those different circles of knowledge seems,
Yeah.
that's kind of where my head is at, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. And when you talked about schools, I think of a neighborhood in Northern Kentucky, Fort Thomas. We have buyers that actually look based on the elementary school. There are 3 elementary schools, not even including like the private church schools. And they want to be in a certain school. So when you do your listing description, you better put what school district it is. Like it is Highlands High School and middle school, but is it Woodville, Moyer, or Johnson Elementary? People want to know. So that's great. Yeah, and I have clients that are like, we want to be within 10 minutes of our girls' daycare. And I'm like, what's the address? Like, listening I'll have two ears and one mouth. That has the high I. I try to listen more than I speak, and what you said to me is. You are good at listening more and taking in that information, and you also speak very slowly, and I love that. I love that.
My brain picks up.
He's like, I need more coffee. I love that though, it's very soothing. All right, so 4 steps to becoming the, I can't read that up there. And this is, to building expertise. So learn the market, learn your clientele, listen to individuals. And keep the headlines in context. I feel like we literally just covered all that. Know your lore, language of real estate. And I will find one and I'll text it to both of you, by the way. Know your business, notice changes over time in your personal business. So you can, as a Keller Williams agent, you can go in to command, you can pull up a report and it will, had all this stuff pulled up earlier, give you your year over year, your month over month. You can pull all those up on your own. So that's good to know. When we realized Nick and I are a team, husband and wife team, we realized we were up like 5%, or I think it's 5 now. That's so long ago. Last year. But it was such a huge success because I feel like there's lots less movement in real estate. So being up at all is good. And not that we were like settling, but we're like, okay, what can we do this year, 2026, to double that at least? Like, that's our goal, right? And then you start looking at doubling that and what activities do you need to do in order to be able to reach that goal? Do you need to hold an open house every weekend? How often do you get a contract from an open house? Sorry, I'm going down rabbit hole. But knowing your business, knowing the changes in your business. Let's see. Okay.
We say too, I feel like we don't have to know all this stuff in advance.
No. Mm-mm.
That's the thing that I think when as a seasoned agent who hasn't done deals, like a 2-year season, I guess I feel like it's important for you to know that you don't need to know every single
No.
thing and have this like whole system in place before you get started.
Oh gosh.
That's just what I mean, that's what I feel. I wish somebody had like beaten into my head a little bit more, is that just like taking
Yeah.
action and trying to do this more consistently is better than agonizing over if you have the right steps. So
Honestly, work on doing things that are automated. And so talk to Lindsay more about that later, but like Scott Leroy Marketing is someone that we pay that does marketing for us. I have not, I'm piggybacking off what you're saying, like, don't like, just like grind it out until you learn how to like get a newsletter together. Okay.
That is.
Go to Scott Leroy Marketing and you email them and you say, I would like a March newsletter. And then I have it on my calendar that every 15th I ask them for a newsletter. And then they send it out to everyone in our database for us. I don't create it. I don't click anything. I email them and they do it for me.
I know from my past job that is what really bogs down the whole day.
Productivity.
Is when
Yeah.
you think, I've gotta create this a letter, I've gotta create these business cards. And
Yeah.
there's people that do that.
Yeah. Oh, I hear it around here all the time. People that have to get something done before they'll move on, they just won't let it go. And I don't know if
You
it's,
said all the facts, looking at all that could consume your day.
oh my gosh, yeah.
So.
Well, there's an hour and a half class that used to be 3 hours, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Woohoo. That's why I just like, okay, back to the material, I
Right,
keep it moving, cause I'm like, oh, there's so much to get through. But thank you for pointing that out, Chris, because, when you first start, you don't even know where to start. And that's why I think at least showing up to meetings and certain classes, and at our office, they have like new agent orientation and stuff like that. I started at a small brokerage, which I actually really thought was gonna be great for me because it was small and I would get like the attention, but they just didn't have the systems
Yeah.
like a large place like this has. And did I sell 6 homes in the first year? I did. I worked another job. I don't know if you worked another job, but I was a dual career agent. I worked at Jeff Ruby's, so I worked there at night, and then on my days off and on during the day, I was at the office or I was showing houses and doing all the things. But I didn't have any kids. I had like 8 boyfriends, so I had all of it in that role. Sorry, honey. So let's see. That page, okay. We are going to go over, lead measures to watch to predict your big market changes. So as you track the bigger market, track your own business as well. When you use command to track your leads, appointments, and transactions, you're able to notice trends as well. These will help you analyze your market and notice any changes over time in your business. So tracking all the changes allows you to actually better understand what might impact your clients and serve them better. So I'll pull up my command and try to keep talking. I'm a great multitasker. That's my affirmation for the day. Okay. Oh, you want me to prove that I'm not a robot? Okay. I feel like a robot reading all this. So you'll notice the trends. This will help you analyze your market, notice change in your business. Okay, I already said that. So it could be signs about what's working for you, what's not. I just want to show her too, because
Sure.
I'm also selling Keller Williams to her. But this is our command homepage.
Okay.
So we did make a goal, and our goal, we want to net, this is including our business expenses, and our commission that we pay to the company. So based on what we have entered in so far, we try, but under contracts and closed units, like for it just being the start of quarter 2, we're actually doing pretty well, right? Because 25% would be that first quarter. But a lot of this business or listings that we have coming in quarter 2. So if by the end of this quarter, we're at 50%, we are on target for our goal. So there are ways to use what we already have implemented, like you don't have to pay for, like, I'll show you, but you probably see all kinds of stuff with the Chivalry team. Just utilizing command. I told her we're not great at like putting our appointments in. I have one from yesterday I still have to put in, but your under contracts and your sales, if we know that we just started quarter 2 and we have some listings in our pipeline and buyers, we know that at the end of quarter 2, if we're at 50%, we're on target for our goal.
Sure.
So I think just paying attention, even on that level, like you're doing yourself a huge service. And I know it talks about like how you can see what you're doing in your business, like how it helps your clients. Well, you can look at like what day you go on the market. Oh, that one house we put on the market on Friday. Oh, that one house we did the open house on Sunday. Like we didn't get anybody. That one house we did it on Saturday. We got 12 people through. We went on the market at 4 p.m. on Thursday. We got 2 over list offers. That's good right now. So once you analyze that and you input the data in command, like this will blow your mind. It works with AI now when you put notes in with all your contacts. If your clients are using like your KW app and looking up houses, it'll tell you. I know, girl. Sexy. So let's see. This will help you track your numbers, but also help you serve your clients better. So if you have like an open rate on the newsletter that's really high, like that's working, right? That gives you something to follow up with your clients on. It's a touch. So you get to call them and say, hey, Sam, Sarah Brooks here, your favorite realtor. I watch what you're doing on Facebook. I saw you just went on vacation. That's awesome. So you probably missed the newsletter. I was just calling to see if you had a chance to read it. My mom loved it, and I was seeing if you think it's good or it's something you want to continue getting. And you just start talking. So these things are gonna help you do a better job with your clients because you're touching them and you're giving them information. You can add their neighborhood, so they're automatically getting a neighborhood report. Just by putting them on a smart plan, an email plan, and having their address in here. And that you can send one every 2 weeks, or you can send one every month. So lots you can do and figure out what your clients like and what works and what doesn't work. Woohoo. All right, so knowing your numbers, knowledge is power. This is exciting for some people and daunting for some people. Like, kind of touched on it, right? Like, there's so much you can know, but it also could be like debilitating. So as you're monitoring the numbers in your market, ask yourself what might benefit from current and future trends and who might be at risk. So the lead gen approaches that will be covered in the next section of the course may need to be adapted in order to counteract shifts. The trends and what people are saying to you, new objections that might come up in the picture and the scheme of talking, while others aren't as important suddenly. And then recognizing patterns as key to building your expertise. So kind of like you're already catching on to that in the 2 years, like how many people have the golden handcuffs with the low rate? Okay, great. Well, I should brush up on what to say around that.
Right.
And that's a specific, that could be a specific class where you just talk about it and do script and role play.
Yeah, I feel like that really, I mean, I've got the 6 personal perspectives here too, and it's like, that's totally part of number 3, the moving from, I guess, I mean, entrepreneurial to professional, but I think the way you described it was kind of like talent-based to skill-based.
Yes.
It's kind, and it's kind of, in a way, moving out of your comfort zone, I think.
Yes.
For a lot of people, it's like trying to get to that point where you are not just doing what kind of like feels good, but what you know the data supports.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, your natural state is your comfort state. And so you may be comfortable talking to your friends, but you may be uncomfortable picking up the phone or door knocking.
Yeah.
Or holding an open house and asking people to sign in and give you their information.
Right.
Like, these are all things that learning the skill sets and how to speak to someone and becoming approachable and mirroring and matching and tonality and all these things. These all come up in real estate. And you think that you just need to learn how to write a contract and know the numbers, but that's just a layer. Yeah, that's just like the first layer. That's so you can get that license back. It's kind of like a doctor, like you can be a doctor, but are you good at relating to your patient? Do you have bedside manner? How's your follow-up? You know?
Can I speak to that for a second? I know
Sure.
we're like short on time, but I think I heard like I don't know if it was like a TED Talk or a podcast recently where somebody was talking about, they were asking this question, why don't doctors have coaches? Because in other professions, like if you look at, you know, like Major League Baseball or what are other sports, basketball, they all have a coach, right? We don't just expect them to be great at it because they graduated from baseball
Yeah,
academy.
right.
I don't know how that works. That's probably right, but anyway, they're just basically saying that like professionals need coaches and mentors too, and to just assume that, you know, you graduated and now know everything is not really the case.
And then you just get to practice.
Right.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about real estate too. Like, once you get your license, like, yeah, you're off to the races. You can go. However, you learn the right way from the beginning. That's the kind of a joke of people that have been in the business for a while. Like, you learn the right way from the beginning because you're like, if I could go back. So he's speaking, you know, from his heart to you, like starting out and having certain systems set up, or even a coach. Like, we have a productivity coach in office. or being on a team that you have somebody that you can look up to. Like Peter is the coach, he's a mentor for you. You probably have someone else on this.
Yeah, whole system. right? Like, that's what you're
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly. Well, I love the interaction. I just appreciate it so much. Because I'm just jumping all over this. So when you notice the trends, what people are saying to you, you do recognize those patterns, and that's gonna help you build your expertise. So we have ebbs and flows in our business, shifts. It can be great for different clients, but a shift might be great for investors, or those looking to buy cash or to move into a neighborhood. And know who could benefit from the changes you're noticing in your market's numbers. Keep this in mind when it comes to lead generation and lead follow-up that we'll cover in the next sections of this course. I just hammer it in, lead gen and lead follow-up. So if you notice in your neighborhood, like if I notice something in Tuscany, I need to reach out to my listing coming up in May and say, did you see the one down the street? It has a basement, but they did sell for 10,000 over list. And we talked about the difference in a basement being about $25,000 unfinished, whatever. So you have something to say when you get back in front of them and you're the expert and you went to the open house, you saw the inside, you know that their finishes are comparable and they have, even though they don't have a basement, they have 400 more square feet. So I'd love to reevaluate where we plan to list that in May. Is this week or the weekend better for you? There, that was a quick one. Because I'm doing that right now. I text them on my way here. All right, so building expertise, we are listening to individuals. Take the grassroots approach. Learn where your sphere gets information and be present. Ooh, okay. So you go to where your people are, talk with the people who are learning about the market, your clients and your potential clients, and chat with them. And more importantly, listen to them. The knowledge they provide could be very helpful for you as you make sense of the market. And as importantly, I don't like the way they phrase some of this, what your clients think of the market. Ooh, I love this. So when you first start talking to someone, you may say, what do you know about the current real estate market? And if they can't say yes or no, they might say nothing. And you'd be like, really? That's fascinating. Do you watch the news? Or like, do you do social media? Do you see anything there? And then they might say, oh yeah, I did see on the news about rates going back up. And I think it's scaring a lot of people. And you're like, actually, I could see where it might scare some people because that's the news job. Some scare tactics. Like I bring up the news a lot because I know people watch it. So as you make sense of the market, it's just as important that you listen to understand what your client thinks of the market. Right. You don't want to ask them their opinion and then tell them they're wrong immediately. You want to really listen and hear where they're coming from. Because that's the biggest part of being a real estate agent with working with clients is that they trust you and they like you. So if they trust you, that means they trust your knowledge. That means they trust the kind of person you are. They trust you. They trust you coming into their home where maybe somebody else hasn't been in 6 months. I have a listing coming up that I don't think he has visitors ever. And we just went in there like, okay, great. So let us know when that storage unit is full and we'll be back. They really trust you, right?
Sarah, that makes me think of this. I don't know if you've heard of this, but I feel like there's gotta be. It's like the two beers and a puppy.
Oh,
Maybe it's called something else, but it's like. There's some people who you could be fine just having one beer with. There's some people who you would want to have a second beer with. And there's some people who you would trust to like. Take care of your puppy for a weekend, right?
Yeah.
So it's like. Those are, I feel like the trust and the like, and I don't know what the equivalent would be for real estate.
You want to be trusted with the puppy?
Well,
With the
yeah,
client?
yeah, exactly, right. It's like you have to have both of those, right?
Yeah.
Because, somebody could trust you with their puppy, but not like you enough to like want to have one beer with you, and that would be somebody who probably wouldn't want to work with you.
Yes, that's a great point. And we say that to our potential clients all the time, like, our goal is not to get you to the closing table, we wanna be at the dinner table.
I like that. That's
Yeah,
good.
I just came up with that one
Can I
recently,
steal that?
please, please. And it just goes back to like my restaurant experience,
Yeah.
and Jeff Ruby's, they called it the experience. So I just kind of coined it, and I was like, the living GC, the Greater Cincinnati Real Estate Experience. And so I hammer that in with Nick a lot. So that was where the table came from, because it's true. We want to be invited back over to their house where we give them their closing gifts, and we get invited over for dinner. We've had that happen. Or just drinks, come and sit in the backyard, take a tour. You know, I've had champagne with people. I brought a bottle to celebrate the closing, and we just walked around the house, and or like sat in their kitchen with unpacked boxes everywhere. So
That's kind
those
of magical.
those are the great people that you want to work with. And when you do that enough, then you get to choose. I said this to someone yesterday. Well, great. So how does Thursday look? Because we did a pre-list walkthrough. Thursday, great. I know you want to meet when your daughters are in school. Okay. What time works for you? Late morning, early afternoon? She was like, okay. So we set it up. And I was like, awesome. So on Thursday, I just want to let you know, I'm coming prepared with paperwork because I'm ready to get to work for you. I don't want to surprise you, but I want you to know that I'm going to be ready. And I'm also going to buy you a coffee. So it's a cheap date. And thirdly, I was like, and thirdly, that day you'll get to decide if you want to work with me, and I'll get to decide if we're a fit and I want to work with you. Fair enough? So that way they know, like, I'm still deciding if I'm gonna work with you. And when you have enough people that you get invited back to their house and you have drinks and they refer their friends, it's a lot easier to say no to somebody that won't pick up their clothes all over the house before you arrive for photography. Makes sense. There's the people that wanna have 2 beers with you or have you
Right.
watch their puppy.
Yeah,
Love it.
with the coffee too, it's like I don't know what the like sales term is, but a way of like ensuring that they like keep that appointment. It's like, hey, there's gonna be something waiting for you when you get there. Like, do you want a latte or a I don't
Yes.
know, what else? Coffee.
Tea or yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like either or, and then they know that their coffee's gonna be getting cold if they're not there.
Some accountability.
Yeah, that's probably the. a great
Yeah,
word,
like, oh yeah, you gotta be there.
Yeah.
That's why people want to RSVP for food and drinks ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it's like Alex Hormozy, like says something about like he sends people like a gift card, like a $5 gift card for a coffee. It might need to be $10 what you get, but
For what occasion or like?
well,
what's
just
that
to say, I think he just says like to make sure you're caffeinated when we meet, but like almost exactly what you're saying, but it's nice that you get it for them too. Then they kind of feel like some more
process?
personal.
Certain situation.
Yeah.
She's going through a rough divorce and has 3 daughters, and she's like at the house by herself with them.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. Maybe spike that call.
And I'm competing with the guy realtor. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah. We all have our certain clients we connect with. And someone else I may say, all right, great. I'm headed back this way anyway. I'm gonna go right past the little bar on the corner, and that's not for everybody, but I'm like, if you want to grab a beer and just like decompress after our deep conversation, I'd be cool with that. That's by my house anyway. And they'd be like, I haven't been there forever, yes or no. And it just opens up a relationship more than a transaction. You don't have to go around buying drinks for everybody, girl. Just trust me on that too. She's like, dang, it's gonna get. So. Oh, right. I hope I'm not rubbing the microphone too much. Sorry about that. So. I actually feel like I probably am. All right, and then let's see. So I was going over, go to where your people are. And the knowledge that they provide will be helpful to you as you get to know your market and what your clients think of the market. And then as you make sense of the market, it's just important that you listen and understand what your clients think of the market. And then this is a great example. Interest rates keep going up, so I better buy now. Or my buyer's house hasn't sold, so I'm gonna hold off selling mine because the market just must not be good now. So just know, listening to people, it's gonna give you a door to understand where they're coming from. And when you're that market expert and that potential seller says, my neighbor's house didn't sell. Oh, you know what, Mr. Seller, you're right, it didn't sell. It's still sitting on the market. And I was curious about that too. So I made sure I went to the open house and I wanted to go like get a peek at it and do my own little soft evaluation. And I would love to share with you what I found. I have a time on Thursday evening, or does Saturday or Sunday work better for you? And you just want to get in front of them. At least me, I'm like, if I get in front of someone, like 85%, I'm probably gonna get to work with them. So, I was in sales before, so some of the little tie downs I just naturally already knew. But you'll just get good at it the more you practice and like talk to people and come to trainings and talk to other like great agents,
I'm open to any tie down suggestions you have.
So
Cause
good.
I don't come from a sales background.
Dude, they're so good. Wouldn't you agree?
I-
Aren't they
I
so
started
fun?
walking right into that.
They're so fun. All right, so, but yeah, it just gives you a great excuse to reach back out and follow up. You know what? I love going to an open house. How about we grab I'll stop by on Thursday evening. What, is that good? Whatever. I'll show you what I found. Or I'll drop by a neighborhood report to you, and maybe they don't want to meet you, but you can hand deliver a report to them. So this all underlines a key point. Be there, be present where your people are. You're guiding your clients in the journey, and that means you need to know where they are and how to best help them. I don't even know. I don't have that story, whatever. Oh, okay. So they're giving an example of like, don't be a secret real estate agent. So in this example, wearing a shirt, like I literally got each of us a t-shirt made. It just says Living GC, like our brand. You don't have to have a brand either. You can just say Keller Williams or whatever. We have them for sale. But wear a t-shirt and someone's gonna be like, oh, you're the real estate girl that's on our Facebook page when I'm out walking my dog, maybe, I don't know. And I'm like, oh yeah, hi, I'm Sarah. What's your name? I'm Stacy. Oh, great, Stacy, what street do you live on? Oh, I live on Amici. I'm like, oh, I just sold one at the end of Amici, the very end on the right. And they'd be like, oh, that one's really cute. And then you start gaining rapport and you're talking with them. And eventually someone's gonna say, so what do you think about what do you think about the real estate market? They're gonna ask you about real estate, most likely. But just having like something on, so if you hold an open house, keep your name tag on and go to the grocery store, or if you go pick up your kids or whatever you have going on, go to the doggy daycare, leave your name tag on. They're just gonna see that you're a real estate agent, and they may not ask you anything that time, but they're gonna keep realizing that you're a real estate agent. Okay. So when you talk about the market though, always speak of it in some kind of positive light. You want to be the beacon for people to talk to. Now I'm not telling you to say everything's great. Everybody's selling over list. Buyers are getting 20,000 in closing costs. Like, you're not lying, but they're not gonna want to talk to you about real estate again if you're like raining on the parade. They're gonna be like, oh, that was meek. Like, that wasn't a very exciting conversation. So you don't have to lie, but speak, it's great. It's been fascinating at times. I had this great deal last week, and then next week we have one coming on in that neighborhood across the way, over off the Hands Pike. And you're like, so yeah, I'd be like, well, what do you think about the real estate market? Whatever. So it gives you an opportunity to connect. And change your Facebook page to say that you're a real estate agent, say that you're at Keller Williams 7 Hills. Create a business page that says Shannon Zeller with Zeller, right? with Keller Williams Seven Hills. All these things are gonna put you out there and start marketing yourself to people who maybe only thought of you as like your previous career or like somebody's mom or
Can I?
Yeah.
One of the things you said, that kind of struck me was the not saying, not talking about it in a negative light. Because I think sometimes it's like for me at least, people talk negatively about it. In order to kind of like make sure that they know I'm listening and,
Yeah.
you kind of want to like agree to like, oh yeah, like it's a little bit of a tough. But I think one of the things that I feel might be helpful is like if some other agents at our brokerage or team or whatever have some success stories like that we could use, say like instead of like saying like I sold, because I don't have that personal experience, but if I could say like, oh yeah, we had some clients who were kind of in a similar boat who really felt stuck with their 3.5%. But we found them this great house and like we were able to instead of trying to just time the market, we were able to find something that really met their, whatever it is that okay.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know if there's like a way to get those stories, like to crowdsource those stories from.
Oh, just being in person with other agents. Yeah, being in person. Really just showing up. And I think that's off script, at the mic. When we have trouble getting people into trainings, it is a little frustrating for us because we know through our experience that, oh, I didn't come into the office for 3 weeks, but that day that I did, I left so energized. And I got to meet 3 new agents that were new to our office that I hadn't met in person. And Chris actually has been in my neighborhood, so we connected on that. And you only do that when you get into the office. And everybody just thinks like coming into the office is like, I don't know, like a waste of time or what they think, but the the fascinating thing about real estate is what you do today shows up in 3 to 6 months. So it's not immediate, and I think people want everything immediate in general. That's a general assumption that we want everything immediate. So getting in front of people and being open and introducing yourself when you're around, it's just how you're going to get to talk to people and be like, hey, do you have any open houses coming up? On Saturday, can I come? Yeah, I would love for you to come. Bring your mom and your brother and your auntie, like bring everybody, make it look busy. And that's like how you start to connect with other agents. And like he said, you can use another experience, even though you haven't done it, or a sale. That's why the lore report is important because you may not have sales, but you can say, our office is out producing other offices or brokerages in our MLS by 8%. We're listing 8% more than all of the offices combined. Most confused briefly, but it's okay. That's just a great point to just reiterate, to be in front of people and look at the calendar and know what you want to be at. I think it's technically supposed to be over 11, but nothing's going on here and you need to leave at like 11:20.
I think I can stick around. I was thinking about it. I think it should be fine.
Okay. Tell them all the great things you learned. All right, so we're talking about where your sphere gets information. Again, the grassroots approach is getting in front of the people. So being at like the HOA meeting, going to the city council meetings and stuff like that, being present is where you're gonna get that information. If you know of open houses around your neighborhood, that's a grassroots approach. You go to a for sale by owner open house. Hey, I live just a mile down the way. I'm with Keller Williams. And I've been studying the market and thanks for inviting me into your home. Would you be offended if I left my business card? That way you can follow up with me if you have any questions after today. And if they're super into it, be like, actually, you know what? I think of real estate every day. And on Monday, when I do my follow-ups, I would love to follow up with you and see how your open house went. I have my phone with me right here, Mr. Seller, can I go ahead and take down your information? Great, I'll follow up with you on Monday. I can't wait to hear about how your open house went. So that was like off the cuff, and I don't do that regularly, but there are tons of little things that you can always do in real estate to like stay top of mind and be a local expert. All right, dude wore a shirt. People talked about real estate. Okay, and then lastly, keep the headlines in context. We talked about this a lot so far today. Read past the headline and knowing your numbers. So you're affirming when you're talking about the headlines, and you're also bringing it back local, knowing your market center, your team, your personal numbers, the local MLS, because if you just go by the headlines, like you said, we're looking from coast to coast, and it's not news. If it's not news, I mean, they can't, cover everything. So, and even locally, what's going on in Bond Hill isn't what's going on in Indian Hill. So different hills. So as you learn your market and clientele, be aware that the headlines can be persuasive. The purpose of a headline is to draw you into the story, and the story will typically delve a little deeper and give you a jumping off point for seeing if there are any similar shifts, numbers, or trends in your own market. So, where do you suspect that buyers and sellers get their information? Do you think they get it from social media, from the news, the local paper, or their friends? Do you think they're all viable places people are probably getting their information?
Maybe less the paper these days, but
Yeah.
if they're.
Yeah.
older, maybe.
Yeah, if they're older, you better have printed contracts in your car. That's another class. So once you figure out where your clients get their information, read what they read, and then see if you can help them expand their understanding. Oh yeah, I love reading all the juicy things on our little Facebook page, and I'm like, I'm not commenting anymore. I just want to know what's going on. And then you can only keep the context in the headlines, like you can only keep the headlines in context if you have your own context, if you have your own experiences, if you have your own numbers, that way you can share. But always pay attention to your local MLS, other real estate platforms to stay on top of what's happening in your market. Your clients rely on you to put the market in context for them. So yeah, they want you to listen. They also want you to be the pro and give them some more layers of information. All right, that was a good chunk. Any ahas? You can sit back to that one.
I feel like I interrupted with too many ahas already.
I think your ahas were amazing. Ahas. I wasn't up on the screen. Didn't truly elicit a response. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, I'm just kind of absorbing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all gonna come together.
Yeah. I have an aha. I'm just like remembering how fun it is to like just talk to people about real estate. Like, I think it's fun. I think it's fun that I have something that I do for a career that almost everybody has to do. They gotta live somewhere. So that's my aha. Like, what honor, a privilege, whatever it is, that sounds deep and corny, but it really is. Like, you get to be a part of something that can be happy, sad, indifferent. You get to be there for somebody when maybe they're confused because of what's being said in the news, or their dad is really telling them like, now's not a good time to buy. And you don't want daddy to be wrong, but you wanted to show some more information. That's my own personal aha.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, it's really cool what we get to do.
It's purposeful too, like you said,
Mhm.
you know, like. Aiming for the dinner table, you know.
Yeah.
I like that there are facts out there that you can watch the news and you can be persuaded by the news and by whatever they're trying to promote, whatever their agenda is.
Persuade.
Their ratings, but
Yes.
that we would have access to information to get the facts to share with people.
Yeah.
To hopefully calm them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, any of their fears that they would have.
Yeah.
So, and I like the statistics too. I've always liked that. Never really had the time to like get into all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at these methods and ways to find those numbers and control your time,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, and give your attention, you know, only so much time on that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good starting. I think that's one of the things that I do like about real estate, that beyond meeting the people and
Yeah.
looking at the properties and trying to make those connections and two different sides of it.
Yeah.
One more on paper or statistics, and then the other is the individuality of it, the personal.
Yeah. Make it your own.
Yeah.
Shannon, did you say you were in real estate before? Like along the
I
line?
just got my real estate license.
Okay,
But because my husband is a general contractor and he wanted
Okay.
to start flipping houses, and I'm like, you're not. He asked me to help him. I was like, yeah, you want me to clean the toilets after I get home from work? I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do something else.
Oh, so much time, honey.
I didn't realize you already, did you just get it?
So that was in 2021.
Okay.
I got my license in 2022. And that's when we had like that life event happen that changed everything. So, and I thought, well, I only did this for him. So I put it on the back burner.
Okay.
And then now that I'm turned 50, I don't want to die in the job that I was at. I know that's talking about grim.
Right.
But I didn't want to end my career there. I wanted to be able to say I did other things.
Still in the workforce, doing something that brought you more like purpose or joy or something.
Yeah, and freedom, because
Great.
I always wanted to be an artist, you know, that's where I started. I went to art school when I graduated.
Me too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
you-
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, but you know, then life happens and you don't get to always follow your dreams. So, I'm not giving up on that. So if I can have something that gives me flexibility, some income, that I can do other things that I want. I
Yeah.
also have grandkids now, so gosh, that changes everything. Ah. So,
Nice.
so yeah, gotta get back into it.
Gotta get that house with the studio in it.
Yes. Don't look
Like your own she shed,
Yeah.
your own
Little
studio
loft.
she shed. Be like, honey, now listen, if I agree
Yeah.
for us to sell, this is my must have.
Yeah.
This is my deal breaker. Okay, love it, you guys. I'm gonna try to get done by like 11:35 or 11:40. Okay, it's 11:17. Time management.
I don't know what that is, so I'm really okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you haven't already, take out your phone and then download the KW app. So I know you're not in you don't have your own app yet. So that's up to you if you want to go ahead and download those. We went over what KW Command is. That's basically our platform. Some people might call it a CRM, your customer relations manager. So that was a CRM. That's all included in Keller Williams. You don't have to go out and purchase something separately. And this thing is a beast. Like it tracks, you can download your clients or input all your clients, their birthdays, their Facebook pages, everything. Their home anniversary, you'll get a reminder. Oh, yeah.
So you're creating a password and log into everything like that, so
Yeah.
that it's
When you
unique and individual to your own information.
Yep, it'll come as like, not a total blank slate, but once you could, Lindsay or Lauren would help you like, export everyone from your phone. It's kind of the easiest way into your database. And then you go in and delete who
Okay.
if you would not call them, get them out. Because it's gonna mess up everything if you wouldn't actually call them. I joke with Nick, like, who's Stacy? Baseball game. or whatever, and I'm like, I don't think she belongs in our CRM, Nick. I'm like, that's from like how long ago? And he's like, oh, or it would be like, I don't know, some girl name and then some other thing that totally was not her last name. He's like, oh, she used to work with me, like code for delete. And so we just like joke about it all the time. But so yeah, and then the KW app, that's where you will link it up to your website when you become an agent, and then you can directly send someone like your app link. And that way, when they open it and create an account and stuff, they would have you as their KW agent, like assigned, and you're on all the marketing on that.
Okay, is this all onboarding stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. So, all right, I kind of gave you a little overview of all that. But yeah, they will be instrumental to the productivity in your business. There's gonna be lots of courses that you can take. There's also like an Ignite reference guide. But you obviously have to be in KW to get that, but that would be through KW Connect, which is like the little tab up there where it says command. You would just click connect to get into there, and it's like a library, basically, a digital library. All right, are you using the apps in any way yet?
Well, I've just been kind of focusing on using Follow Up Boss at the moment for the sugar, but yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the I don't to explore command a little bit more and
Yeah,
learn about the what was the one that you said you can like send somebody like download your personalized app? Is that is it?
that's through the app on your phone. Yeah,
Command through commands?
I don't think it has to be through command. Once you download the app and you have like your website and everything connected to it, but you would. I think you go to like profile and do all that, and then it'll give you your website on here.
Yeah, it's just in the Keller Williams.
Mhm. Yep. And let's see. Awesome. So Gary Keller, when all this tech stuff started happening during COVID, because everybody was more techie and virtual and lots of things, he dumped a ton of money in tech. And other companies, I don't know, I think I know they are, but I don't want to say it, but they were like outsourcing all their tech. He's like, we want to own our tech. So that's a huge thing about Keller Williams. We own command. Now you can use Follow Up Boss or whatever. Sometimes people just like different systems better, and that's fine. And if you are like the top team in the city, you can pay for whatever you want. But that's a great thing when you're getting started. You have something, and everybody here, is trained on it, and you could come to classes and learn about it and stuff. And some of these systems are over $1,000 a month to pay for, and this is just all included in your office fee. So it's in your tech fee, through your office fee. All right, so it's a single platform, this command, that can help with everything from lead gen to your database management and organizing any necessary tools in one spot. Like I showed you, like how we do our tracking. At the same time, the KW app was developed to complement command. Like I said, if someone uses the app, it'll go in and input if you have their contact in there, and then it'll add them together. So they work together. But it does streamline the home buying and selling process, and then connects the agents and consumers like never before. So Keller Williams is cutting edge in how we approach the real estate market. And the app is consumer facing tool that connects the consumer to the agent, and it works tandem with command, like I was just saying, and that's designed for agent use. Your clients don't get into command. That's just for you. The biggest value of this technology, which is available to KW agents and team, is at no additional cost, cutting down expenses that can cripple your profitability, or whatever that. And then like when teams face some lower operational expenses, they can reinvest their dollars into building their business, delivering that exceptional consumer experience. You can increase your efficiency while keeping agents at the heart of every transaction, meaning they're not going to other platforms like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. If you keep them on your platform, they're maybe less likely to go astray or get different information that might not be correct. And then you're trying to learn all the platforms. I always tell my clients, you can send me something through that, but don't expect me to like understand all of like what they're saying. Like Zillow recently, I don't even know if they're still doing it, I haven't seen it, but they were giving like statistics on like if you write an offer 20,000 less than this list price, your percentage of getting it accepted would be. And I think they stopped. I was like, this is, and it did not ever make sense.
Right, based on what?
And that's what your clients are, your consumers are seeing though, your clients. So I was explaining that for a while, like, please don't listen to that. I don't know where they're getting their data. But I was having people like, I was like, where'd you come up with that? Like, oh, well, Zillow said. I was like, what?
Well, that's a great time to like pull up that data that says, this is 98%, these are selling at 98% or
Yeah.
99%.
Yeah.
Of the list price, not.
Sale price to list price.
Yeah.
Ratio, I know it. So Command can also assist with lead gen, you're automating your workflow, managing your transactions, customize reports, enhancing customer service, and making better business decisions. Is one of the best ways to know and connect with your market, and it'll be an essential tool in your real estate career. So you will learn more about Command. You can still, Peter might tell you, don't waste your time on that because we already have our own thing. But if you ever are interested and you have the time, you can always look into Command more.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, we have lots of Command classes. On Fridays, Lindsay does open tech hours. So she pretty much goes over what anybody wants to go over. I don't think she comes in with like anything necessarily, and then whoever shows up, you discuss what you want to discuss. You know who Lindsay is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, if you don't, I'm worried about you. I could like ask the people on the first floor, do you know who Lindsay is? They're like, yeah. Okay, awesome. And yeah. So for the app, it goes over downloading it. You search Keller Williams Real Estate. Touch the drop down menu, upper left, scroll to profile, log in as the agent using your connect credential. So like your login name and your password. To share your app with others, so it's just a share app button on the front screen. Pretty easy. But the KW app is the last piece of Keller Williams tech ecosystem. We already said it's the consumer facing counterpart, connecting the consumer to the agent. It is unique experience because they can personalize their app through collections, save searches, saving homes, or hiding homes. And those customer insights are visible inside of Command, now providing more comprehensive understanding of the client's needs and wants. So just be prepared to offer the app to everyone you know and everyone you meet. I can pull up someone right now and then I'll let you guys look at it because we were just updating something for him. And I'll show you what it looks like once they have been communicating with the app. Okay. It gives you this AI summary. Right here. And it tells you what they've been looking at. And this client built in our neighborhood, and they already told us, well, when we buy next time, when we build next time. So, we always are staying like in touch with them. But when you have that little nugget, what they're looking at, you can maybe like on the down low, start looking up properties that have 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths and finished basement. And you can go in and start searching some of those. And maybe you just ask them like, hey, how's the house? How's it going? Yard's looking great. And then, because they look great. and just say, you know, I know you mentioned in the future, so if you ever want that 4-bedroom house with a basement, just let us know. Like, they don't know that you know that. But we know that they don't have a basement and we know that they want more bedrooms. So you're not really being super sneaky, but you know that they're looking on the app. But you wouldn't know that if they were on Zillow, right? Awesome. Okay. So that's one of the resources. Oh. The Keller Cloud platform does connect them together. So you see what I was showing you earlier here about this is how many people have a phone number, an email, an address, and if they're on a neighborhood search, this is not mine, this is just an example. And then you can compare it to like agents in your market center, so other agents here at Seven Hills. You can compare it to team members. You can compare it to all agents in Keller Williams. So it's kind of cool. So if you are competitive, that's fun to make sure your database is looking better than whoever else. You can compare it to like the top 10% in the company. In the whole company. So like, ooh, I want to aspire to be like the top 10%. Well, what are they doing? Oh, they have a 85% health score for blah, 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 you know? All right, so we already went over that. See? All right. Ooh, I love this. This is important. So I'm glad that we weren't on the time restriction. So, your daily success system includes an activity to complete 10-5-1 social media engagement plan. I know particularly one big team in California, and she does this social media plan. She has a huge coaching program and everything. Her name's Rachel Adamsley, and she does this 10-5-1 engagement plan. So it involves liking 10 posts a day, writing 5 comments, and sending 1 direct message. This can easily be something that's time blocked, even if you don't come to Keller Williams, take this away. So, which I don't think that's the case, but so what happens is, let's say you time block for 1 hour at 9 a.m. and 1 hour at 9 p.m. like after dinner and like maybe while you're having your breakfast. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in, and there are systems around this too, where you make sure that you're not just going through your news feed. You can do it systematically through the alphabet. Which is something I'm starting next month here at the office. So when you do that, whatever, that's something that you can just implement now, basically. Social media is a great way to market yourself freely and should be active on all the popular networks. So like I'm Facebook and Instagram, those are like my primaries. Do you have social media that you like, or which ones do you like?
Not that I like.
Utilize?
I mean, yes, but yeah, I find it challenging to engage in a timely fashion.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
This is way better than trying to plan posts, though. I think that it's like designing posts and like getting into like filming and writing scripts, and it's more about you, and this is a way more achievable, I think. Cool.
I just had something at our meeting. They mentioned it quickly. I'll text it to both of you. 30 spring social media prompts. Easy. Done. And then you just pop that in there. So, but that's true. It's kind of like too much to do. And so a confused mind does nothing. Said that to Peter once, and he's like, really? What does that mean? Tell me more.
I'm gonna use that.
Confused mind does nothing.
That's crystal clear.
I mean, and that could be somebody else putting too much on you. That could be you being disorganized. Like, it's just a blanket way of being like, oh, I have a lot of chaos going on. It's freezing me from doing anything. So, so if that's something that's hard for you, just use those prompts. It's nice and easy. And then set it up during that 1 hour in social media where you schedule it. And well, I'll tell you why, because I don't think they cover it. They do, maybe they do. But basically, when you follow like 1051 and you interact with them, and if they interact back with you, you're gonna start showing up in their news feed because the algorithm is gonna start connecting you more. So that's why, and you don't just do it to the same person over and over, you follow a system alphabetically. And you go through and make sure that you touch everyone. So if you do that 5 days a week, then you're gonna get through your social media network pretty quickly. And you're gonna start showing up more and more. And you sprinkle in some posts about your Australian shepherds. And then you sprinkle in like your Florida trip that you just went on. And then you sprinkle in a little bit about real estate. And then you sprinkle in like this new recipe that you guys just made. It's not just real estate. Because people are gonna see your real estate, they're not gonna comment on it, they're not gonna like it, but they're gonna like love your picture of your dogs and ask you about them, and then you can like private message them and tell them where you got your dog. Like all the things, and it just starts creating conversations to where they start noticing you more in social media. Yes, it works, it really does. So when you post on social media, follow an 80-20 posting plan. 80% of your posts should not be about real estate. They should be about other interests you have. Only 1 out of every 5 original posts should be about real estate. So, there is an activity where we can brainstorm our social media personality. I just went over a few of mine. So let's talk about let's just jot down a few items real quick about your social media personality. Like what do you see yourself realistically posting about that would be like your replica of yourself, but on a social media platform? Your day-to-day or week-to-week life, what do you like to do? What are your interests? And what would you post about? So what would be your social media personality? You gotta give me at least 3. I'm walking the doors. Oh. You gotta write them down. 3 things you like to do. It could have been something that you recently posted that got a lot of attention. I would love to hear about, that example.
I don't do any social media right now because I've never liked it, but I can do it. So 3 things that I have, my art, I just took a stained glass class.
Nice.
So, I mean, I should have posted, and I'm like, nobody needs to see this. That's me.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
a week that I think that.
I'm already thinking like maybe you could teach a class. Maybe you could do a client event for me. I want to see it.
It was a lot.
That's how
of
quickly
fun.
I go from listening to squirrel, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It,
woo.
it was hard and it was fun, and meeting the people in the class, that was good too. So good things, that would be a good thing, I think, for my social media.
100%.
And I learned from the last time I had to get into social media, it was like, oh, people actually they care about me. It's not all like, ew, why is she posting that? It was not like that at all.
Yeah.
So my fears were kind of quelled in that way, but, yeah, so I can do it. But my kids, my family is like, don't put me on social media. Are you trying to get me killed? Like they act like it's some kind of travesty to put the grandkids on Facebook. It used to be a thing. Don't put your children on social media, but now everybody does it.
Yeah.
And I know
I have family members that don't like it. So I don't even take pictures with them sometimes because I'm like, what if they're just gonna live in my phone?
I know.
And I'm never gonna get to do anything with them.
But that's like my heart, and
Yeah.
they don't want me to put that on social media, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. And then vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of contracting he does, your husband, but you could always take some update pictures of his stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, because people want him to come and do side projects for them, and I've got a list for that, so.
Well, he can say no. However, it makes you look like a real estate expert.
Okay.
It's not about him, girl. It's about you.
Easy.
Let him fight that battle and bat people away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where did you take that class?
It was in Middletown.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, if you post about it too, you could tag, the company to get
Mm.
more, just any kind of gesture of appreciation. And,
Mhm. That's a great idea.
I put funny stuff,
Mhm.
politics, and nature photography, or like just, if I'm out and I take a picture, I don't really do that. But those are things that I could do.
Yeah,
I mean, I do sometimes post about politics these days more. I mean, I was dissuaded from doing that, but it's more in line with my past than who I am. So I still,
you think that's relatable for your market?
yeah.
If you think it's
I
relatable,
think for many of my friends, yeah. I mean,
I always say things that are, like, I don't do politics, religion. I try not to do anything like too grotesque. Like, I grew up a tomboy. I haven't said one cuss word yet today, which I deserve a gold medal for. But I stay away from those things because I feel like the people I know, and it might be different for you, but the people I know, I'm going to separate 50% one way or another. And like, I think about politics and like, I feel like so many of the elections, it's like 50-50. So in my mind, I just think I'm gonna lose 50% of people if
yeah.
I post anything. And to me, like, that's not worth it because politics is important to me. And I don't want someone to judge me based on something I posted in like a moment of excitement or like confusion or whatever. So for me, I don't do it because I know that I'm going to alienate 50% of people. Like I see what people post and I'm like, I love you and I love you and I love me and I love America. And then like religion, I'm also very spiritual. I'm not religious. Nick was raised Catholic. And then like my family is non-denominational Christian. So like they have different beliefs. But I am lucky that I'm in a situation where they all just openly, I get to talk about things and I'm not either way. And I just like to remain open. And anybody that knows me well enough knows that. So it's not always like a business perspective. Naturally, this is how I am. But I mean, I choose to side on things that I find them like super important for sure. So if you feel like it relates to your market, because you talked about that earlier, right? Like finding my market, I would just understand that if you do certain things, like you may alienate Catholics or Jewish people or whatever, if you decide to go that route. And some people are more open-minded and they understand that. Like I said, my family, I can talk about that stuff. But if I was to post something that was more like I just heard this really cool fact. I'm 43. I'm old now. I love birds. Like I feed birds. And I have my coffee in my basement and my slider with my recliner and I watch birds. Sometimes. Part of my new routine. So I saw something about cardinals and I never realized that they were named cardinal because of the Catholic with the Pope with the hats and that they're red and it symbolized like, so I was like, I never knew that. And I would love to post something like that. Like that's interesting. And I didn't post it, but that may dissuade somebody. Like you just don't know how people are,
That sounds pretty tame.
It's tame. I think it's tame,
Yeah.
but like you just never know. So I just kind of veer away from it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that perspective.
And I think one time I posted something and it was not political, but people thought it was political. And I know I didn't lose a client. I didn't want to work with her anyway. She was going on rants, private messaging me and being like a little wild.
Good filter.
Woo! She unfriended me because I posted something about the Republican guy that got assassinated. I'm like, I don't think anybody should be assassinated on live television, but that's terrible. And why do we have to see this? Like, it wasn't political for me. It was why do we have to see that? Like, little kids could have been watching that. So I I've seen a few people that veer strong, I guess, left, really democratic, that didn't like that I posted that. And she let me know about it, Facebook Messenger. And it wasn't political for me. It was like, this is not okay in society to be seeing these things. So that's my example.
I think like going back to like what you said earlier too, you know, something like posts about your dog or like something you cooked, you know, it's like
Yeah.
those are things that are easy, you know, people easily relate to or like feel
Mhm.
like they that you're a human being behind that too. And
Yeah,
I think those are so much more appealing than posts about, you know, if all your posts are about like an open house or like closing, then I'm gonna unsubscribe from that
Mhm.
person, you know?
Yeah.
Unless they're like engaging with my posts like that too, you know,
yeah,
not like that, but like that. Like if they're speaking to me, that would be,
yeah. No, I get it. Like if they
Okay.
actually are corresponding and you have like a back and forth, because I've thought that way too. In the past, and I still do it sometimes. If I get the ick when I see someone on social media, I'm like, ew, I don't want to see that person then. Like,
yeah.
that means I probably don't want to work with them. So if you look at it from a business standpoint, if they gave me the ick, like, do I really care that they see me on social media? Probably not. I mean, that's always up to you, right? Like to figure out. And like Instagram, they say to like make your page public. I still don't think I've done that. And they say to make it public so anybody can see it. And then Facebook, they tell you to be a digital creator. I still haven't done that.
I have to Google how to use
I know.
Facebook and how to use Instagram.
We'll just
because
need
I
a whole
just-
nother class. You're not gonna get rid of me, Shannon. That was great. I love it. That was juicy. Okay.
But this is like, all that stuff aside, it's like, we're not necessarily, I mean, some people, I feel like have a lot of success. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, like I'm not a pro at this, but like I just feel like something baseline like this is so much more manageable than trying to feel like you have to be like learn how to be an influencer or a creator. And some
Yeah.
people I feel like are really good at that. I don't have the energy or patience for that.
Yep.
So for me, something
You can go on my
Well-
social media and judge me right now. I'm just teaching a
I'll
class.
go on your cell phone. Probably.
Well, you probably are gonna judge me that I'm not doing all the things as much. And now that's why I teach the class. So the pros never out of school. I need to go post like some vacation. So other enrichments, you can do, so study your market center report. And like I said, I will see if we can get some copies of that. It's a lot of numbers. That was probably not that exciting at this point. Preview homes. So if you have an area that you live around, I would just have you have a search set up to where you always know when a home starts, or goes on the market. You can preview all of our own listings, especially if no one lives there. Take an MLS course, which I know when you get licensed, they make you take at least like a basic course.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Claire, that's like 9 years ago. I think they still do it. Visit and hold open houses. So if you're not comfortable holding an open house yet, I think you should visit some. Kind of like how you were like, well, experiences, like what if I don't have that experience? And then I'll just use someone else's experience. Same thing with open house. Maybe you liked what Celeste, people like a lot of her open houses here in the office. So like if you go to one of her open houses and you take like a piece of like what she does, that's another great thing about Color Wins. Most people are very good at sharing. It's like not your competition.
Or just do it and do it badly.
Do it and learn.
Yeah.
Like someone's gonna walk into your open house and be like, fail. Like they're there to see the house.
Right.
As much as you think they're there to see you and judge you, they're there to judge the house. But yeah, so I would say, also studying the lore. That's just enough to give you nuggets. You don't have to even be part of Keller Williams to do this. You can read the MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which is like a Keller Williams, like people in Keller Williams wrote the book. But there's also a podcast, which I highly recommend. MREA podcast. It's amazing. I listen to it. It's on, I listen to those two every week. The one I sent you and then the MREA, those are without a doubt.
Okay.
I listen to those every week. And then, I don't know, is there anything else that you could think of that would be like enrichment activities that you could add to those 6? To know in your market?
Just when you're out and about and like going to events and things,
Mhm.
just connecting, trying a little bit more to connect with people.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I mean, for me, I know
Yeah.
actually get out of the house.
I know. Girl,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at a too many birds. What about like business grand openings, you know, like, or like he said, like. Sharing local like spotlighting a local business. And you go in and like you grab some ice cream and it's like. Ice cream like in Bellevue, Kentucky, like Schneider's has been there forever, and you can go to something like that and like be like, what's, and they're famous for like opera cream candy, and you can try it for free. And like you can literally like just do like a selfie video of you trying it and being in the store, and then maybe you get one of them to say something about it, like how did the recipe originate? Like you could do stuff like that. You don't have to be on camera. Just little things like that to where you can give back. What you said earlier made me think of that. Classes that you do. Like anything that makes you relatable. Jennifer Pope in our office, one thing that she posts fairly regularly is her exercise routine where she does the serpentine wall. She climbs up and down it, she walks it, or I don't think she runs it, she climbs it, you know, does the stairs. That's something like I know that she does. It could be like local musicians, you can go like listen to some music. Anything like that. Farmers markets. You could go through and do like a quick like walkthrough video. You could take like pictures and just post them all of the local farmers market. I mean, there's so many things you could do. Anything you volunteer in. You volunteer in like a church soup kitchen. Boys and Girls Club. Lots of things. Not too many things, Sarah. And then the success system, that's a tracking part of the participation book. So daily, they want to know how many conversations you had. I say conversation, also social media. So if you were to reach out to somebody and they ask you about like your listing, you know, that would be a conversation. Or a listing you posted. Number of contacts added. This is so easy. So how many out of 10 did you add? So if you do 10 a day while you're in Ignite, aren't there like 20? You would have like probably close to 300 contacts, 250 to 300 contacts. So adding those contacts, you want like their name, their phone number, their email address, and hopefully their physical address.
10 seems like a daunting.
A lot every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you time block. To get 10 new contacts in, that's just adding them. You could do that through just your phone.
Oh, so not like people you met
No,
that day.
No,
It's trying to.
Contacts
add
added.
people from your
Yeah.
sphere.
but the conversations is 10.
Okay,
So ideally, if you have 10 conversations a day, that's gonna get you enough in your pipeline in the next 3 months to where it's turning into reliable and predictable business for you. Because in real estate, I'm currently on a roller coaster. We had 8 sales in January, 0 in February, 2 in March, in April, I think we have 1. So it can be like this huge roller coaster, and admittedly, we don't consistently do lead gen. We do things, but it's not consistent, like, there's no like rhyme or reason for a lot of it. And I'm just being honest, I mean, I'm in the top 20%. We sold 24 houses last year. But if you wanna sell 30 or 35, our goal is 35. If you wanna hit that next level, what do you need to do differently?
lead gen 90 days ago.
More. Lead gen, track what's working. Right, more, yeah. More, absolutely.
It does seem daunting. I mean, for me, like I rarely talk to people all day, especially since I haven't been looking
Yeah.
this year, so it's like,
Just do stuff you think is fun. And then people that like you, know you and love you are gonna be excited for you.
so Friday lead generation,
Mhm.
that's
Friday.
that'll help with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be her focus on the class. The next class, Define Your Value, with Chad Mormon, who's on the ALC. That will be awesome too. Because defining your value, that is gonna help you have confidence when you talk to prospective clients. And then Maggie, who is our stand-in broker for Ohio right now, but she is our managing salesperson. Lots of experience, and she's gonna go over different types of lead gen on Friday. So it does ask for feedback. You can say that Sarah deserves a gold star.
Right, no curses that I
No,
heard,
that was a good girl.
unless they were under or around.
You didn't do that, I promise.
I'm sure the microphones did that.
I wrote a disc on there, so I'm gonna see if we can, I'm also the education committee chair, so I do listen when people talk about what kind of classes they're interested in. So I took note of that.
So I hear of time blocking a lot, and as somebody who doesn't obey my own rules very well, that's hard for me, so I would love. I think consistency and trying to. Like you said, it's partially, it's just like your daily routine too,
Yeah.
but.
I know.
Any class on. Sort of how agents have built up. That consistency for themselves and. Different methods that have worked for different people would be appreciated.
I agree, that would be very good to me. But thankfully, because I was at my job for so long, I'm just still in that routine. Like I still wake up early every morning. I still get up and get ready, like I expect something to happen. And
I love that.
Like get dressed for success.
yeah.
I
and-
expect good things to happen to me.
But yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
I need that outline. And, but what helps me in my mind right now is